Good evening, all, and welcome to the NCARC TechNet, obviously sponsored by the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. This is N7GES, and Joe's asked me to take the net here for a while. We'll begin by taking check-ins, and I'm going to listen for a string of check-ins and then call everybody back. It's just easier that way than trying to talk to everybody and getting doubles. So don't necessarily try to be the first, but let's come back with check-ins, give them to me slowly, and I'll take you down and acknowledge everybody after we get a bunch in.
KE0OXV, Scott, and good evening, Kevin.
Kilo Foxtrot 4, Delta Uniform Sierra.
Double K0 Echo Victor, Eric.
Part of that double was me, Alpha Charlie 0 Alpha Sierra, Levi and Severance.
And me, KF4 DUS, Mike.
Okay, we got a start. Let's go down through here. KE0XV, good evening, Scott. How are you doing?
Hey, doing fine, Kevin. Just trying to stay inside and stay warm tonight.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. Sounds like a good plan to me. AC0AS, good evening, Levi.
Good evening, Kevin. How are you this evening?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired today, but I'm doing okay, and I'm staying warm.
Yeah, tired is going around this time of day. AC0AS, back to net.
Alrighty, KE0EV, good evening, Eric.
Yeah, good evening, Kevin. Let me get the nickel there. Yeah, I'm just to echo Scott's comments. I'm trying to stay warm as well, and it's still, last I saw, it was still, some flakes were coming down outside, so that's what's going on around here. K0EV.
Okay, very good. And KF4DUS, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. I've been trying to resuscitate my truck the past 3 days. That's why I'm not at dialysis tonight, trying to resuscitate my voice as well. KF4DUS.
Okay, well, your truck could wait. Definitely take care of your voice there. Sure don't want to have trouble there, so take care of yourself there. Okay, N7GES with the TechNet. Other check-ins, please.
N0EMP. Good evening, Kevin. Greg, Fort Collins. Kilo Charlie 0, Zulu India Echo. Darren.
Kilo.
You're welcome to go ahead, Debbie.
Thanks, Kevin. I just had a total meltdown and forgot my whole call sign. Kilo 0 Delta Bravo Echo. Debbie, Fort Collins.
Okay.
KE0NHB, Mark, Boulder.
Good evening, Kevin and the net. This is Whiskey 0, Delta Delta Zulu, Dave and Greeley.
Okay, let's,
0, Uniform, Sierra Bravo, Mike, Bellevue.
okay. Let's stop and go through calls here. I've made a mistake or two, doubled a time or two, and so I need to get some corrections. Is it USB? Good evening, Mike. And is it W0?
Nope, same as usual. Kilo Delta 0, Uniform, Sierra Bravo, usually serves bacon.
Okay, I knew I was close, but I could not remember, and I doubled with the beginning of your call, so just missed it there. Anyway, anything special going on up there tonight?
It is diligently snowing at this time.
Aha, okay. Well, I'm sure you're going to get plenty of it being up where you're at, huh?
Yeah, 1 or 2 inches. Nothing big.
Okay. All righty. Good evening, Dave. W0DDZ.
Hey, Kevin, how are you tonight?
Doing okay. Resting up. Trying to, anyway.
Hey, I haven't got a chance to say thank you for inviting us to that concert yesterday. It was really, really good.
Well, you're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope Christy got enough answers about the theremin there.
Oh, I'm sure she's going to have more questions for you, but she had a great time also, so yeah, we thank you again, and yeah, we'll have to do it again. That was a blast. W0DDZ, back to net.
Okay, I'm glad you had a good time. Let me see if I got this call right. Kilo Echo 0 November Hotel Bravo, Mark, is that right?
That is correct. And good evening, Kevin. The weather down here is cold as everywhere else.
Yep, I guess that's the way it goes there. All righty, thank you very much. Good evening, Debbie. I understand the meltdown and forgetting things, no problem there. That just happens. How's everything else going?
Well, like everyone else, we're trying to stay warm and dry.
Yep, well, staying indoors hopefully is a good way for that to happen anyhow, so that's good. KC0ZIE, good evening, Darren.
Good evening, Kevin, and everyone on the net.
And Greg, N0EMP, good evening.
Good evening, Kevin. Do you need a ride tomorrow for a board meeting?
Oh, thanks for asking, but I've got a meeting tomorrow night that I have to be at, so unfortunately I'm going to miss ours.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll see you Saturday. And 0EMP.
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on Saturday, and, if you have time and room or whatever for Saturday, I'd sure take you up on that.
I can handle that. We'll talk during the week and set that up.
Okay, very good. Sounds good. This is N7GES. Other check-ins this evening?
Kilo Echo 0, Lima Charlie Kilo, another Mike from Windsor.
W0 JVD.
Good evening, Kevin. This is Kilo Echo 0, Lima Sierra Lima, Alan Greeley.
W0 JVD, checking in.
Okay. We'll stop there and I'll come back and recognize everybody. KE0LSL, good evening, Al. Anything special going on your way?
No, sir, just bearing through the chill like everybody else. But thank you for asking.
Oh, you're very welcome. W0JBD, good evening, sir. What's the name and where are you located?
Jack Devine, Fort Collins, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I should have recognized the call, but, I haven't talked to you enough to quite get that down yet. Anyway, glad you joined us, Jack, and thank you very much. And Mike, other Mike, what's going on with you tonight?
Well, I got my taxes done, so and I don't owe anything this year, so it's a great day.
Well, that's always a big help. All right, good for you. Any other check-in at this time?
K0 DFK, checking in for the first time.
Okay. K0, let's see, Kilo 0 Delta Alpha Kilo, is that right?
Delta Foxtrot Kilo.
Okay, very good. And what's the name and where you at?
The name is Dave Klink, and I'm located down south of Johnstown.
Okay, very good, Dave, and glad you're with us. Are you, you're not newly licensed, just the first time checking into this net, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for joining us, and hope you enjoy it. If you have questions during the net, you're very welcome to chime in with those at any time, so please do. Any other questions? Or, I'm sorry, any other check-ins?
KB0SCX, George and Berthoud.
Good evening, George. What's going on in your direction tonight?
Just cold. Staying inside.
Well, that's the way to be. My heat just clicked on here, and I'm just very, very thankful that it works. Anybody else tonight? All right, we'll just start with this, and if we get additional people that want to check in, please do feel free to do so when we get a place where we have a break here. Do we have anybody with questions for the net? Technical questions that we can answer, or curiosity questions related to amateur radio, anything of that nature tonight?
OXB.
OXB, go ahead. Or V, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Kevin. I think it was the last TechNet or the one just before it. There was a question about whether or not our .275 repeater had some type of amplitude leveling, and I was just wondering if there was an answer for that question.
KC0ZIE.
Okay, go ahead, Darren.
Yes, I talked to James about that, and there is not that kind of a feature for this repeater, nor did he believe there was one for the previous hardware that we had. So I think we're out of luck on that one, but he said he would check into whether or not that's something we could add in the future.
Okay, very good. So that's just all the more reason to remember to get very, very close to your Baofangs and other Chinese radios and get signal reports from people, and you know, just accept that as normal practice for those radios, because almost all of them are way too soft unless you get right close to them. That isn't absolutely my mind just went blank. That's not absolutely exclusive of all of them, but a general large number of them are that way. So just remember that, and don't be afraid to put a little mustache against it there.
Hey, thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Darren. KE0OXV, Scott, back to net.
Further comment on that, please?
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, the Baofengs have a wide and narrow setting. The narrow is to accommodate the 2.3 or 2.5 kilohertz deviation of the commercial end of things. Be sure you have them set on wide. Mine came with wide, but there's a section in the manual that tells you how to set it up for amateur radio, how to set it up for commercial. Be sure you set it up for wide deviation, W0LE.
That's a very good point, because when they're set on narrow, it actually sounds as if your audio is much, much softer. It doesn't have it doesn't have the effect that you might think if you've got a setting wrong in the radio. So, yes, do check your settings. Most of them default to wide, but sometimes they get set to narrow, so do check that. That will be, I don't remember what the term is in the Baofangs, but it'll have a setting of wide or narrow. Thank you. Other questions tonight?
Kilo 0 Alpha Bravo Kilo, the late check-in.
K0ABK, good evening. How's everything going for you?
Pretty good. Just got off work, sitting in the car, turned the radio on, and finally defrosted enough to where I could use it, so I figured I'd check in. I missed the first 19 minutes of it, so if there's any fill I need to know.
Nope, we've been mostly taking check-ins, and we discussed the audio level on the repeater and what we can all do to try to keep that a little more consistent for people. So that's about it. Was there another person trying to check in at the same time there? Try coming again. Okay. This is N7GES with the NCARC TechNet. We're at an open forum tonight. Anybody else with questions or comments or topics?
KD02YU.
Good evening, Joe.
Hi, guys, and hello. Thank you very much for taking the net. I do have kind of an announcement. Could I make it?
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Yeah, this weekend, of course, we have our NCARC meeting, and we have a gentleman. I'm trying to find his name here. Oh, my gosh, I feel really bad about this. His name is Rob, NC0B, and he's going to give a talk this coming Saturday on the new bands, which the FCC has given us, which I know nothing about, so I think it'll be an interesting topic. So hope to see everybody there.
Oh, thank you, Joe, for that reminder. That's excellent, and I believe those are all VLF, very low frequency bands. Is that correct?
Somebody might be able to correct me. I think it's like 640, 630. I could be totally wrong. Very low power also. Please, I could be wrong. If anybody knows anything about it, please come back.
Yeah, there's one somewhere around 650. Another one around 635 kilohertz.
Yeah, Dave, you got kind of scratchy there, and your audio was a little low. Can you run that by me again?
Sorry about that. I just picked it up quick. There's one, more or less around 450 kilohertz, just below the AM broadcast band, and another well below at 135, nominally 135 kilohertz, W0LEV, and you do need general or above privileges.
Okay. Thank you for the info on that. And yeah, that should be very, very interesting. So if you can make it, that would be terrific. All right. Other comments or anything for the net this evening?
Kevin, it's KD02YU. I've got a question for Dave on that.
Sure, go ahead.
Hey, Dave, at the LRA meeting, they mentioned something about you have to have special privileges and you have to sign up for these bands. Is that correct?
You do not need special privileges. However, yes, you need to get the permission from the federal power agencies. There was an email address in QST and on their website. You do need to get permission because, of course, they use ELF to manage the grid and make sure you're not too close to one of their receivers, I guess, to interfere with it. Yeah, you do need permission. You do not need any special license or anything other than the permission. W0LEV.
Okay, that's also very interesting. So, yeah, thanks for supplying that info there. And yes, I had heard that before, but I'd forgotten about it. And so, yeah. All right. Thanks, Joe, for the question. That was good. Other questions, please, or comments?
DUS.
Yeah, DUS. Go ahead, Mike.
This is KF4 DUS, and I just want to let people know that if you are bubbling over with a question and it's between net time, there's a couple of different ways you can probably get answers. One is send an email to elmers@ncarc.net, or you can get on the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Facebook page, and you'll be approved almost instantaneously, at least within a day. And there are several help files on the Facebook page. There's the Colorado Council of Amateur Radio Club's PDF files for the simplex frequencies for 2 meter, 1.25, and 70 centimeter, and there's also a Excel spreadsheet that I acquired from another ham that lists all the repeaters in Colorado. So if you have a question in between TechNet times and you're just bubbling over and can't wait to ask it, those are a couple of different ways. And the other ways is, well, a lot of people are listening, like Dave, W0LEV. You just ask the question, and sometimes we can't wait to tell you. Anyway, a few different ways of getting answers between the nets. KF4 DUS, Horsetooth Mike.
Oh, thank you for that info and reminders, yes. Elmer, questions, always important to ask and answer and get answers for, so please don't hesitate to catch us on air or use those resources that Mike mentioned. Now, the Facebook page, I don't believe, is an official NCARC page, but it's okay. It's still got good info on it. It still serves the purpose of some extra info and that sort of thing. So, yeah, don't hesitate to check it out. N7GES with the NCARC TechNet. Other comments or questions for the net here?
Oh, that's correct, Kevin. The Facebook page is not officially NCARC. Well, especially since they don't pay me. But anyway, yeah, it's not official, but a lot of people are on there. Anyway, KF4 DUS, back to net.
Yep, I've seen some good info on that page too, so absolutely do take advantage of it. Dave, I think we had a double there. Come again, please.
I was just going to comment, you might mention what an Elmer is. Some of the hamlets may not know. W0LEV.
Oh, yeah, thank you. It used to be, we still tend to call people that help newcomers out with amateur radio Elmers. There was an explanation of why that happened or how that got started. I can't remember that right now, but maybe somebody else would like to go into that at some point. But it's what somebody does when they're helping somebody out with the new information that somebody that's not been in amateur radio before needs to know. So if you're getting assistance with running your radio, with putting up an antenna, with knowing about the rules and regulations, with just learning about how radio works, you're probably getting info from what we would call an Elmer. And all of us have probably also been Elmers at one time or another, helping other people out. So that's the term that came from a particular person, I believe, who was a very big influence in that. If anybody's interested, we could pursue the beginnings of that a bit more, or not, as anybody chooses. But that's what the term means.
SUN. 0 WIQ with a quick check-in and check-out.
Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, Carrie, and we'll see you later. SUN?
Hey, this is KC0SUN. I'm late to the game here. I've just been listening for a few minutes, just a late check-in. And if you're interested in how the word Elmer started, go to the ARRL.org/Elmer-award, and all the info's there.
Okay, and that was award page?
ALL.org, Alpha Romeo Romeo Lima dot Oscar Romeo golf/Elmer-award or minus award. It's the dash ARRL.org/Elmer-award. Elmer-award obviously is all one word because it's a web address.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. We did do a program about this a while back, more about what Elmers are supposed to, are what their purpose is and that sort of thing at an NCARC meeting. So it's good info to know. We're working on developing a lot more of that again here, and that's part of the reason for the email list and various other things that we are working on in order to help people get answers to their questions. Thanks, Alec. Other comments for the net?
Just a quick question. What was the topic tonight?
It's an open topic tonight.
K0LAO.
Good evening, Luann. What's going on your way?
Well, late dinner and late check-in, so if you can check K0LAO and K0PRB. We've been listening for a while, but want to get on the list.
Well, you are now on the list, and I thank you for jumping in, and please don't hesitate to make comments. Got you. Glad to have you. Once again, any questions or comments for the net? We have no such thing as dumb questions, and we're here to try to do what we can to bring you answers.
S6GN.
Was that November 6th, Golf November?
Yeah, that's it. It's Glenn in Fort Collins, and I'm in process of putting a 2-meter whisper beacon on from Fort Collins right now.
Ooh, very interesting. You want to tell us more about that?
Well, sure. I don't know how much interest there is in whisper in the area. I guess from what I deduced, a recent topic, one of the meetings was WSJTX, and of course this is one of the modes, perhaps the oldest, well, maybe not the oldest mode of the K1JT digital mode suite. What I'm running here is a 2-meter version of the beacon I put on the Big Island at KH6HME on island of Hawaii. It's on 70 centimeters. Basically, it's a U3 Hans Sumner's QRP Labs U3 with a Bodner GPS reference. So frequency accuracy is very good. If anyone wants to calibrate their 2-meter station, at least once it gets up, it ought to be within a tenth of a hertz or so. And it's operating about 29.5 hertz above the center of the 2-meter whisper band at 144.490.529.5, give or take. Not running any kind of ERP yet because the antenna is still at ground level, but hopefully that'll be on. Of course, the 70. Let me let it drop here. The 70 centimeter version did, in fact, has been heard almost every month since we put it on a year ago across the tropospheric duct across between California and Hawaii. So this is a version of that. I'm going to point it eastward, and maybe someone will hear it.
SUN.
Stand by. Can you give me the frequency of that one more time, please?
Yeah, it's essentially 29.5 hertz above the whisper band center, the standard whisper band. The whisper band is, if you look at, go to whispernet.org, WSPRNET.org, you'll see on the upper left side the band center for all the whisper frequencies through 1296, I think, from MF 630, no, from 2190 meters through 1296, through 23 centimeters. And this one's 144.490.529.5.
5, give or take. It's GPS referenced, and if once things are stable, it ought to be pretty close to that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. SUN, go ahead.
Okay, I don't want to sound totally moronic here, but I don't mind if I sound moronic, whatever. You lost me. I'd like to know more about what Whisper is, what it is that you actually have set up, and why you have set it up, and what it's there to do, because there was a lot you just said in a very short period of time, and I consider myself to be able to get things pretty quickly, but you blew right past it. I'm not quite sure exactly what we're referencing here.
Comment W0LEV.
Stand by a moment, Dave. Glenn, you want to take a stab at basic Whisper and some of this here?
Well, I can, but I'm not I'm not sure how long to expound on it. Maybe you should take the comment first.
Okay, we'll do that. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, I suggest you either plug in K1JT or better yet WSJTX into a web search engine, and you'll get all the information you need. There's really too much to address on the net because there are so many different applications. But go Google, Dogpile, Yahoo search, any of those, whatever, WSJTX, and you'll get plenty of information. W0LEV.
DDZ with a comment.
DDZ, go.
Hey, I'd just like to also mention that we recorded the WSJTX presentation from the Hamfest, and that is available on the YouTube channel.
Okay, SUN, any further questions? Get all that okay?
Yep, I'm good. I'll go ahead and use Alta Vista since apparently we're just throwing out weird random names for search engines that nobody uses anymore. And I will find the information I was looking for. Appreciate it.
In addition?
Addition, go.
Yeah, this is Glenn again, N6GN in Fort Collins. The Whisper that but the thing that's maybe a little bit different about this one is it's on VHF, and of course the Hawaii one is on UHF. It's the same mode. It's a 6 hertz wide or so occupied bandwidth. It lets basically signals be detected down almost 30 dB below 0 dB signal noise in a audio bandwidth. So you basically can hear and detect and analyze signals and propagation when things are way too weak for other modes. There is a VHF site for Whisper that you can add to the list already given. Whispernet.org is a good place to start for general Whisper, and it has a big forum, lots of comments. There's a lot there. But you can also go to the Google Groups 2 meter plus, Whisper 2 meter plus Google group. If you search on that, you'll find a whole bunch of particular to VHF through microwave Whisper.
LCK?
LCK, go.
Yes, KE0LCK. On the Whisper, on the HF side, it's great to test different antennas because you can get a visual map of where it was received, your signal was received over a period of time. Compare it to another antenna or time of day and be able to see what you actually have going and being received by different stations around the world. On the 24th of February, the NCARC's having the HF seminar up at the Poudre Fire Training Center, and I'm going to have that up there for people to look at, and I've printed off some other ones of previous instances so you can actually see what Whisper can do for you. Back to net.
And thanks for the reminder on the HF seminar as well. And that should be very, very interesting, especially if you've never dealt with HF before, or if you have and it's been a limited exposure, or as we've said, if you've never experienced some of these digital modes. We're apparently going to have a chance to see some of those in action, and they are fascinating. They are not voice transmissions. They are text, I guess you'd say text transmissions in a data format. And as mentioned, they will often go through when a voice transmission won't go through. So it's fascinating stuff. Glenn, I just wanted to ask you, since we're dealing with VHF and UHF here, I would assume that it's sideband still, and it's an actual audio stream that's being dealt with. Is that right?
Well, sort of. I mean, it's identical to the HF or LF, MF, anywhere else situation. In fact, what's being transmitted, normally the way Whisper is generated on handbands is a USB sideband mode is selected, and a sound card, usually a sound card from a computer generates precise tones, generates the complex, it's a 4-level FSK signal. It's like RTTY, but it's 4 levels. And it generates that, and so what you get are tones. It's a phase continuous as you shift tones. They change about once every 0.6 of a second. If you listen to it, it'll sound almost like a steady carrier. Unless you're listening really carefully, you can hear the tone shift. But essentially, it's a very narrow band communications modes. About 100 bits are transmitted every 2 minutes, and in that is call sign, grid square, power level. I think that's everything, but it's transmitted over that period of time with plenty of error correction and very efficiently. So that's what it is. It sounds like a carrier, but it gets through almost 30 dB, 5 honest S units below what what just moves the S meter on sideband.
I have had confirmed copies as low as minus 32 dB tangential noise, W0LEV.
Yeah, and for newcomers, that's a really low signal. It's probably below most of the noise floors, which means below the noise where we may not ever even hear it audibly. So that's pretty amazing stuff. Glenn, how different is this from FT8? Is it mostly just data technicality differences there?
Well, kind of, I guess, although the devil's in the details. FT8 is a QSO mode designed for 2 stations to make full official QSO contact, whereas Whisper is a beacon mode. FT8 followed the more very popular JT65, and then after that the JT9, which are several dB. JT9 allows QSOs in a 1-minute interval, if I remember correct. Yes, that's right. And by the way, my beacon is transmitting Whisper, JT9, and JT65A, so you can decode it with any of those modes. But they're all efficient digital modes. Whisper is the most efficient in that you can have lower SNR, lower signal-to-noise ratio, and have all the bits get through than even JT9, which is second, and FT8, I believe, which is about fourth.
Yeah, FT8 is in reality a numbed-down version of JT65. The QSO frequency is once every 15 seconds, if I remember right, and it will dig down about minus 24 dB tangential noise, W0LEV.
All right, this is N7GES with the TechNet. Thanks for the info, folks. This is very interesting to me. I haven't gotten into it yet, but I'm learning and thinking about it. Okay, other comments or questions for the net?
N0 SSC.
Yeah, come again with your call. I missed it.
Yes, November 0 Sierra Sierra Charlie. Name here Sterling in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm coming in over Echolink. How do you copy?
good. You're just a little soft. If you can get a little closer to the microphone, perhaps. But you're coming in all right. Otherwise, the call went by quickly and I missed it. Good evening, Sterling. Where are you coming from? Did you say?
Roger, yeah, Sterling in 0 Sierra Charlie. I'll try to talk loud. I've got my mixer cranked. I'm coming from St. Louis, Missouri. I just wanted to check in really quick, and I've been noticing you guys on the Reddit and the internet in general, on YouTube. I noticed you guys had this net. I saw it live streaming, so I thought I'd stop by and say hi. I've been watching some of the videos, and I wanted to say they're some of the best, well-produced, well-mic'd. The audio and the videos are really great, and they're also very informative and very entertaining. A lot of videos on YouTube are not of that quality, so I really do enjoy the videos you guys have been putting on YouTube, all the way over here in St. Louis. Go ahead.
Well, there you go, Dave. More confirmation. Thank you very much, Sterling, for the comments there. Do you have any other questions or comments for the net at this time?
No, that's it. I just appreciate the opportunity. I'll probably check in here and there. If not, I'll listen to it on YouTube. 73 and 0 Sierra Charlie.
Okay, and excellent, and thank you again very much. Oh, looks like my device locked up. This is not cool. I really wish this didn't happen. All right. Any other comments for the net?
WI5 Whiskey Tango Fox. Wouldn't mind a signal test real quick if I could.
Sure, your signal is excellent. You're full quieting in here tonight, and glad to have you. Can I have your name and location?
Yes, sir. Whiskey Yankee 5 Whiskey Tango Fox. It's Justin. I'm out of Laramie. Actually just driving through Fort Collins at the moment. We actually tried to come down. My son was going to try and take the test, but unfortunately there wasn't enough VEs available, so I guess we'll have to make another try. But anyway, got a new antenna on my car, a little low-profile one. I just am curious how it performs, so I'm just kind of playing with it a little bit.
Okay, very good. Well, you're coming through perfectly fine here. I was having trouble with my note-taking device. Could you give me your call one more time?
Whiskey Yankee 5 Whiskey Tango Fox.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I got it, actually did copy it right from memory. I don't always trust that. Thank you very much. Any other comments for the net or anything of that nature?
K0LAO.
LAO, go ahead.
Since we were latecomers, has anybody mentioned the Berthoud High School Radio Roundup contest?
No, they have not. Do you have that in front of you, or shall I look that up, or somebody else?
It's on 40 meters, and it's whoa, I just about knocked over the side table here. It's a bunch of the high school kids. There's only 5 licensed operators, but there are we had just a whole passel of kids through, and it's a way to get non-licensed kids interested in ham radio. I'm going to let it drop. It's on 40 meters, and I'm trying to find my bag too. Maybe I will get Dave to get the actual band that they operate in. But please, everybody, kind of come help out the kids. They are so excited. And to see freshmen that have never seen a radio, been on a radio, and they, by the end of the 30 minutes, they are so excited.
That's excellent, and fantastic thing for these kids. And yeah, I would echo that. Come and support them. Anybody need any additional info on that?
LAO?
Go ahead.
I found my notes. The recommended range that they operate in is 7.225 to 7.300. Today we were operating at 7.231.01. So, it's a fairly narrow band, but, if you get in there, these kids absolutely love to hear from you.
ZIE?
ZIE, go.
Just also wanted to mention that all of the same information is posted on the front of the NCARC website. So if you didn't get a chance to copy it down, you can go to ncarc.net and pick it up there.
Okay, very good.
That WU, late check-in.
Hey, good evening, Terry. Anything going on your way?
Well, today was my first time in being a control operator for that school roundup, and I am immensely exhausted.
That is a different experience, isn't it?
Well, it does bring up the fact that even those of us who've had our general class license for a while but haven't worked HF, it's an entirely different environment, and I can understand people having questions about that.
Well, K0LAO, another shameless plug. They did a great job. They got over 20 states, 3 Canadian provinces, and 50-plus contacts today. So they're doing really well.
Well, that's excellent. I hope they're getting good and excited about all the progress they're making here and what they're accomplishing. Okay, this is N7GES. Do we have any other questions or comments for the TechNet?
KE0POW.
Yes, come with your call and your location if you would, please.
Kilo Echo 0, Papa Oscar Whiskey, out of Firestone.
Okay, and can I get your name also, since I'm new doing this?
Yes, sir. My name is Nick.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Did you have a comment or a question for the net?
Yes, I actually had 2 questions. One kind of popped up on my drive out to my house from Boulder. I've been listening on the 750 Lee Hill repeater all day. I tried checking in towards the beginning of the net, but there was no acknowledgement, and I wasn't sure if I doubled or not. But I'm curious, maybe if I could pop over to that frequency and try and call in and see if I've got the right tones and got it programmed right.
Sure. Let's go ahead and do that. No, I did not hear you before. I take it you were hearing the net but didn't make it in. Is that right?
That's affirmative.
Okay. Well, if you're wanting to go ahead and flip over, I'll listen for you for a moment here. Just make sure you're set for, that's not 100 hertz, is it? That's something else. 141.3, is that right? Anybody?
Yeah, that's correct, Kevin.
So that could be what you were missing. But go ahead, I'll listen for you. This is N7GES. We're doing a quick technical test here.
Doesn't look like it went through.
Nope, I didn't hear you, and I didn't flip over there myself to see if I heard you over there either, but yeah, I would check your tone settings, and remember that a lot of radios have both a tone squelch and a transmit tone. Your tone squelch probably isn't set since you're hearing the repeater, so I would make sure that you're transmitting 5 kilohertz down and or 5 megahertz down, and that your tone is set for 141.3 or 141.2. There's only the one setting there in the 141s group, and see if that fixes it. So why don't you go ahead and look at that, and then after the net is over, or later on if you've corrected the settings, I'll be happy. One of us will be happy to listen for you again and check it.
Awesome. That would be great. I think maybe the problem might be in the offset. When I went through Chirp last night and programmed it back in, I didn't look real close at that, and I have the Lee Hill repeater programmed in at the completely wrong frequency anyway. I know I've got the tone right, but not sure about the rest of it, so I will check into that. The second question I had was, how do I know when I'm transmitting with too much power or more power than is absolutely necessary? Is that something typically I could check with the guys after the net?
Good question. There's not an audible, I would say that there's not generally an audible way to know if you're using too much power, at least for a repeater. It'll be pretty tolerant of anything, and audio-wise it's going to sound okay. But what you might consider is learning about the distances that you're dealing with, and and also experimentation, trying a lower power and seeing how it works, cutting the power back, and how does that affect the signal. So yes, we'd be more than happy to test with you afterwards and find out if you want to cut back your power. You're a little distance from us here, so you might not be able to use your lowest power, but it never hurts to check. So absolutely do that, and that's probably the easiest way to do it.
Thank you for the answers. Appreciate it. This is POW. I'm going to go clear till the end of the net to check my programming, and I might catch you guys later. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Sounded like somebody else had tried to make a comment or something there. All I heard was a carrier. Was somebody else wanting to get in there? Okay, any other comments or questions for the net? Well, I'm not hearing anything. We often have questions that come up after the net, and feel free to stick around and ask them as well. But hearing nothing, I think I will go ahead and close the net at this time. Let me see what we had here. We had... 2 to 3 to 4, 25, 6, 26 check-ins this evening, and we've now been on the air for just about an hour and 61 minutes, it looks like. So I will return the repeater to normal use, and if there are additional questions, don't ever hesitate to ask. N7GES 73, and we will come up with a topic for next week and post that as we normally do. If you have suggestions for topics, please let me know. We're glad to take them and whatever people would be interested in hearing about. So again, thank you very much, 73, and good evening from N7GES.